Hi, I'm Beatriz. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to talk about something that sounds very simple, but it's actually very important, which is why we tape our watercolor paper onto a hard surface. Although taping your paper isn't always necessary, I find that when you are using mixing and a painting wet and wet techniques with dry techniques, it makes a big difference. We're gonna need, in order to tape the paper, we're gonna need two things: a hard surface where to put the paper and tape. What hard surface? Anything from foam board, although the foam board gets to get peeled when you remove the paper, but you will get a few uses if you want something light. Sometimes I use the back of my watercolor blocks. It's also a hard surface, but really anything that it will work for you. Sometimes I get these boards as well. Anything that's portable and steady and it can get wet. These are some of the boards that I show you. These are perfect when painting with small pieces of paper. All right, now let's talk about the tapes. You can, of course, you can use any tape, but masking tapes, in my professional opinion, works the best because you want something that holds the paper in place so that the water doesn't sneak in, but you also want something that is easily removable so that when you take it off, you don't tear the paper. Masking tapes comes in many different widths. It can be, this is the most standard, that's the one that I use the most, but it also comes thinner or wider depending of your purposes. Brands, it doesn't matter, I have many different brands. This is one of my favorites, but basically any tape that is this color will do. Why this color? Because it's neutral, so when you're painting, your eye doesn't get distracted by this color when you are doing your mixes. I have seen some people using the blue type of tape that is used for painting walls, I believe, and those that blue tends to throw off the tones of your colors. That's in my personal opinion, but try what you have. So when we tape the paper, it's important that we get a good seal, so that when we remove it, we will have a clean edge that is sharp and clean. Two reasons for that. Some people take the paper, for painting, like I said, but also because when you can make the border as big or as narrow as you want. Let me show you some. This is a narrow border that I left around in my painting, just enough so when I frame it, that it can go on there matte. But some of the times I would prefer, just like in this case, to make my border wide enough that I can frame this painting as it is without having to do this, take the next step of the extra expense of matting my painting. So that give you, that way you have options. For a painting like this, for a border like this, I will use a thicker tape, and obviously for something that is thin like this, I can use either my thinner one or the standard. So we don't need scissors for this, just your fingers. Important when you put the masking tape, make sure that you got a good amount of paper and board so it stays. Then at the end, go with your fingers and make sure that you get a good seal so water doesn't go between the masking tape and the paper, and we're ready to paint. So now we have our secure paper into our board. This is one of the simplest way to tape, not the only one. In future videos, we will talk about using gum tape or stapling your paper into a surface, and also the rare exception where you don't tape your paper at all. Whether you are prepping for a full painting or you are planning on testing some colors, this is a clean and easy way to make sure that you will be successful. Let me know in the comments if you have tried this or if you have a favorite brand of tape that you use. Also, in the next video, we will use this paper to start painting. We will do a wet on wet the sky and a dry bottom. So stay tuned.